Part 56. Something strange is coming? Fortunately, I am the king of hell of the 10th palace. Author, Shiyubuletin Chigwa. Chapter 554. Who are you looking for? The redemption meeting. Hearing this name, Shenjian was stunned. He didn't expect that one day he would hear this name from an outsider. No. I have only established this redemption meeting for less than 7 days. You, one of the 4 great dukes in the empire, a top ghost king who is infinitely close to ghosts and gods, how did you notice this small organization? Is the current efficiency of the empire approaching this level? Or is there an organization called the Redemption Society here? A bit of surprise flashed in Shenjian's eyes. On the surface, he said calmly, what is the origin of this redemption meeting? Have no idea. Unexpectedly, Ghost Duke Ceres shook his head very calmly and explained generously, I have a useless brother. This is something everyone in the empire knows. And just yesterday, my brother was killed. According to the investigation, I learned that this group of people has committed multiple kidnappings and disappearances in recent days. Following the clues, I found out that this group of people calls themselves the Redemption Society, and their members are all ghosts corrupted by evil thoughts. I think this newly emerging evil organization must have a big conspiracy. In addition, the other party has touched members of my Inoadan family. As the head of the family and the Duke of the Empire, I have the obligation to destroy this evil organization and bring the leader of the other party to justice. Shenjian. Hear this. The corners of his mouth twitched slightly. It was confirmed that the Redemption Society the Duchess was looking for was the evil ghost-catching organization he founded. Think about it. Shenjian opened the game panel. King of Yama at Andre, were you chased yesterday? Andre, brother, you are so clever and clever even in the church, you know things thousands of miles away. Yes, we were indeed hunted yesterday, but with the help of supernatural powers, we escaped. King Yama, let's talk about it in detail. The content of the chat interface paused for a moment. Andre, that's right, brother, I followed your instructions to select targets suitable for transforming evil spirits, and then I met a slut, a man with pink hair, and embellished with red. I was stunned for a moment, and then he knocked me down before leaving. He told me that if he dared to stand in front of him, he would be in a good mood today if he didn't kill me. Andre, I was very angry and told him not to be so pushy, and to be careful if he walked too much at night and saw ghosts. Andre, who knew he would actually arrogantly tell me, what's wrong with dragging, is dragging illegal, is there any law that stipulates that ghosts cannot drag? Andre, it was the first time in my life that I saw such a dragging person, so I went back to shake him, trying to catch him and turn him into a devil. I didn't expect that this old Yinbai had people hiding around him. Fortunately, I reacted quickly, otherwise you will be kicked out. Finished reading. Shenjian couldn't help but hold his forehead. It seems that even if it takes over the player's body, the dark side cannot be the same as that of a human player. If it were replaced by a genuine Andre, let alone a hard fight after being knocked down, he would not even be able to get within 5 meters of the opponent. May happen. That is to say, only those who maintain the dark side of evil thinking dare to do this. Shenjian withdrew his gaze. Return your attention to the Duchess. The pink-haired man with a hint of red in his hair that Andre described should be the younger brother the Duchess mentioned. After all, the same goes for the Duchess's hair color. It's just that one is pink with a little red, and the other is red with a little pink. And the pink part is gradually changing. At first glance, it seems that there is a bit of pink at the end, but at a second glance, the pink part has turned into red. Upon closer inspection, the hair color is somewhere in between. Difficulties. Seeing that Shenjian didn't respond, Ghost Duke Hillis asked again. There was a little disappointment in his eyes. If the other party can really resonate with the glorious ghosts and gods, then he should have the most basic ability as a believer, which is to recognize evil thoughts. This is the most basic supernatural power belonging to the glorious ghosts and gods. If she can resonate with the glorious ghosts and gods, she can use this supernatural power to help her select the members of the Redemption Society. On the contrary, he is a liar who is just trying to gain fame. She hated this kind of person the most in her life. Shen Jian hasn't spoken yet. There are new trends in the chat interface. But it's not news from Andre, but from a young German girl with the ID Lucy. Lucy, promise her, no matter what it is, agree first before talking about it. This is the key person for us to clear the copy. King Yama, what do you say? Lucy, you may not know that Olympus is an imperial country like the Qing kingdom we entered last time, and the person in front of you is one of the four most powerful holy families in the Eli Empire. The first Inoadan is the head of the family, a hereditary duke, whose status is equivalent to that of the Duke of Qing. With her protection, our situation in Olympus will be much better. Lucy, more importantly, I found out a piece of news. The Duchess known as the Blood Rose has a close relationship with the True Saint in Elim Temple. She is a staunch True Saint faction. It is said that she once saved by a saint. Lucy, if we can conquer this Duchess, we may be able to take the path of the True Saint. Lucy's tone was urgent. She stood outside the prayer room and a series of chat messages came out one after another, reminding Shen Jian to have a good relationship with the Duchess. See this? Shen Jian raised his eyebrows. This was the first time that someone told him that he could defeat ghosts in a thriller game, which would be a shame. Then Shen Jian sent an OK gesture. Strategy. He understands. However, if you want to conquer this kind of female ghost who is a strong woman in her own right, does not need a man's help in her career, and is still a high-ranking female ghost, you need an opportunity. Thinking. Shen Jian said seriously, it is the responsibility of every citizen of the empire to help the empire eradicate evil organizations. As a priest, I am willing to take on this task. Hear this. Ghost Duke Hillis was slightly surprised. Are you sure you can? Are you sure you can find the members of the Redemption Society? Shen Jian glanced at the coordinates given on the chat interface and said with a smile, isn't it just to find out the evil spirits who have been most eroded by resentment in the holy city? I'm sure of it. The Ghost Duke thought for a while. Those members of the Redemption Society dared to arrest people in the holy city. It didn't take much to think about it. They were definitely lawless people. Plus, the way the witnesses described them. Really? All you need to do is find the evil ghost who has been most corrupted by evil thoughts, and he must be a member of the Redemption Society. Think of this. Ghost Duke Hillis showed some appreciation on his face. She came here to test whether Shen Jian could really resonate with the glorious ghosts and gods. Now the other party's attitude made her believe a lot. She patted Shen Jian's shoulder. Compared to those old sticks who hesitate and hesitate, you are very good. Without further ado, let's set off. Said. She walked out immediately. A gradual red ponytail swung behind her, and even though she was wearing masculine clothes, she still couldn't hide her graceful figure belonging to a woman. Instead, it becomes more distinctive. Shen Jian did not hesitate. Followed. At the door of the church, he saw a dozen guards. The collars are engraved with the rose symbol. They are uniform and well-trained, and each one possesses the strength of a ghost king. Where is the location you sensed? Riding on a dark black ghost horse, the Ghost Duke held his head high and spoke with heroic spirit. Shen Jian glanced at the coordinates of the evil ghost provided by Andre. Point in one direction. Okay, let's go. We must wipe out this Redemption Society. If you dare to target our Inoadan family, the leader of this Redemption Society is really tired of living. When we catch him, we will make him look good. Say it. Ghost Duke Hillis rode away. Shen Jian sighed a little. Is it possible that the leader of the Redemption Church is right in front of you? But It would not be bad if I could use this opportunity to build up my reputation and favor the Duchess. After all, creating evil ghosts, capturing evil ghosts, and gaining reputation were all the one-stop services he planned from the beginning. Now it's just more manpower. Not much difference. That's all. Shen Jian also rode on a ghost horse and kept up. Soon, the group of people had arrived at the location guided by Shen Jian, which was located in an abandoned castle. It was completely charred, as if it had been burned by fire for 3 days and 3 nights. Right here. Ghost Duke Hillis frowned. Right. Shen Jian compared the coordinates given by Andre and nodded. He didn't know what kind of evil ghost Andre transformed into an evil ghost, and he had no interest in knowing. He only valued the results. At this time, not far away, the streets were in chaos. A woman with strange lines on her face stood not far away, smiling sinisterly at everyone. The resentment that soared into the sky seemed to materialize, forming a continuous black mist behind her. It gives people a biting and cold feeling. What a terrifying evil thought. The members of the Redemption Society are such crazy evil spirits. I can't let them stay. The words fell. The guards around the Ghost Duke rushed forward first. They all had sinister smiles on their faces. Although they were not as good as the evil ghost woman, they were even better in terms of aura. However, at this time, the woman's eyes met the Ghost Duke, who had the highest level of terror in the team, and her blood-red lips moved. You killed them. It was all your fault. The Ghost Duke was stunned. Before he could react, he heard screams one after another. In front of, among the guards of the Inoadan family who rushed forward, a guard at the end of the team broke his leg due to the ghost horse under his feet, and accidentally fell to the ground, knocking the guards in front of him away as well. This seemed to cause a chain reaction. All the horses were knocked down and hit hard. At this moment, steel pipes suddenly fell from the buildings on both sides of the street and plunged directly into the fallen guards. They were stabbed through each one and died in different ways. Suddenly, the mutation reappeared. The buildings on both sides suddenly exploded, and fire exploded. The fire burned through the entire street, and also burned into the body of the guard who was already inserted into the steel pipe and could not move. At once, a shrill howl sounded. Ah! It hurts, it hurts. I feel so much pain. Let me die, kill me, quickly, kill me. Your Majesty Duke, we died miserably. In the chaotic streets, the screams of the guards lingered in my ears. That sound was like a knife, scratching into the heart of Ghost Duke Ceres, making her eyesight split. The long ponytail hair behind him spread out and turned into a bright red color like a blood rose, which is the color of the hair watered by the blood of the enemy. Blood surged into the sky. You deserve to die. The face of Ghost Duke Hillis was gloomy and terrifying. Hey, it's all your fault. It was you who killed them. It's you. It's all your fault. The woman smiled viciously, her laughter eerie. Why do you still have the confidence to live? You are a vicious woman, you should apologize. Her voice was like a curse, ringing in the ears of the Ghost Duke and echoing in the streets, making the Ghost Duke feel a surge of anger and a trace of guilt in his heart. At this time, she just wanted to rush forward and cut this woman into pieces. However, the woman's gloomy voice, like a curse, was still ringing. This made her feel even more guilty. Until it turns into regret. Finally, the ridiculous idea of apologizing to these guards came up. The other side. A crazy smile appeared on the face of the woman covered with strange lines. At this time, a voice suddenly sounded. Haha, I think you are ugly and have a lot of ideas. Woman. Something strange is coming? Fortunately, I am the king of hell of the 10th palace. Author, Shi Buletin Chigwa. Chapter 555. Hear sounds. The woman was stunned for a moment. She was an evil ghost herself, and she committed suicide before she was alive. Her resentment after death was countless times stronger than that of a normal evil ghost. Normally, she is just a Ghost King level ghost. However, after she committed suicide and was transformed into an evil ghost, her yin qi level soared to the top Ghost King, and her resentment was so strong that it could affect even the top Ghost King. But now, one person broke free from her supernatural influence. He also had a bad mouth and insulted her. The suicidal ghost cast his gaze and saw Shenjian riding a ghost horse and dressed as a priest. There were traces of distortion on the ugly ghost's face covered with strange lines. "Why don't you die? You deserve to die too. If you hadn't stood by and watched, how could these people have died?" The woman's voice continued to output. Ghostly voices linger. The ghost Duke Hillis on the side became more and more regretful. A head of blood-red rose hair has wrapped around his neck and lifted himself up. Apparently he planned to strangle himself directly to apologize to these guards. Shenjian glanced at it. Darkening is 3 times stronger, this saying is indeed true. An ordinary Ghost King can quickly rise to the level of a top Ghost King under the strong and extreme resentment, and can also have a supernatural influence on beings like the Ghost Duke. The price is to become an evil ghost who loses humanity and has no sense at all. Shenjian was very satisfied with the evil ghost transformed by the Redemption Society. "Why should I die?" Shenjian asked rhetorically. "Suicidal ghost?" She was stunned again. His breath was obviously stagnant. "No. Seeing so many of your comrades die in front of you, don't you feel any shame at all? Damn it! You are quite evil at heart." The suicidal ghost subconsciously said, "If you hadn't stood by and watched, how could these people have died? Is it illegal to stand by and do nothing?" Shenjian's 3 floating words made the suicidal man feel like he was struck by lightning. "Is it illegal? You mean, you don't feel a little guilty, and you even feel at ease that you are right? Grass. What to bring evildoers? I think you also have the qualifications to become an evil ghost. But if you act like this, don't you think it's immoral and you can't get over the hurdle in your heart?" The suicidal ghost's tone was obviously weaker. Dancing with joy, he told Shenjian that doing so would cause him inner suffering, and he would live in shame, self-blame, and even regret for the rest of his life. "Maybe when I fell asleep in the middle of the night, I would think about getting up and slapping myself twice. Then if I have no morals, how should you deal with it?" Shenjian tilted his head and said. "Suicide ghost." She raised her head and blinked at Shenjian. Facing Shenjian's innocent eyes, she fell silent. Confirmed. This priest is also a humming evil spirit. Worse than her. At least, before she became an evil ghost, she knew how to feel guilty. However, this man clearly had no resentment and could not detect any signs of being corroded by evil thoughts. However, the evil nature of the ghost was terrifying. Once such a person becomes an evil ghost, he is the worst of evil ghosts. It is the most evil thing in the world. Think of this. The suicidal ghost gave up and continued to attack the man. What the hell, for a ghost who has no morals, no sense of shame, and even thinks she is right, her supernatural powers are completely useless. Defeat her today. Only now did she realize that as long as she had no morals, she would not be affected by her supernatural power. Strange knowledge has been added. This moment. The suicidal ghost couldn't stand it anymore. Then continue to superimpose the supernatural influence on the Ghost Duke. As for Shenjian, since the supernatural is useless, he can just fight hand to hand. She is the top Ghost King, and even more so an evil ghost. She is no weaker than anyone in her life. How could a weak priest be her opponent? 3 seconds ago, she was thinking this. 3 seconds later, She was dumbfounded when she saw Shen Jian open his fingers and a bright golden thunder shoot towards her. In reluctance, the whole thing exploded. Do it all. The ghost duke suddenly woke up. The sea of fire and the scenes of guards wailing in pain that they had seen before disappeared, and the streets were clean. As for her guards, they fell to the ground one by one, but they were not penetrated by the steel pipe, nor were they burned by the sea of fire. They were still breathing, as if they were trapped in some kind of supernatural fantasy. In an instant, Ghost Duke Hilla's face turned ugly at a speed visible to the naked eye. The opponent turned out to be the top Ghost King. Caught off guard, she was affected by the other party's supernatural power. Only then did I see such a tragic scene, which made me regretful and wanted to commit suicide to apologize. While thinking, the rest of the guards also woke up. They were completely stunned when they saw a suicide ghost that exploded not far away. What just happened? This seems different from what we saw. And who did this? A little too cruel. I haven't even seen this. I'm afraid even if my relatives come, they won't be able to recognize what this piece of coal is. All the guards looked at each other. This script is wrong. How do they feel that they are here to make up the numbers? In a daze, the enemy exploded. At this time, Ghost Duke Hillis turned to Shen Jian with gratitude in her eyes. Thanks to you, otherwise, after today, the Inoadan family will become the laughing stock of the empire and will never be able to hold its head up. To me, it's simply more uncomfortable than killing me. Shen Jian's eyes moved. Ghost Duke Hillis. Current status, palpitation, gratitude, curiosity, suspicion. Favorability, 50, familiar. See this. There was also a hint of smile in Shen Jian's eyes. Increased favorability by 10 points at one time. Although the routine of a hero saving a beauty is old, it has immediate results. Just like a twisted melon is not sweet, but it can quench your thirst. But it's not enough. 50 points of favorability only reaches the limit of friends. Not a very close relationship. We need to find another opportunity. Thinking. Shen Jian smiled and said, with a little effort, I just want to be able to resonate with the glorious ghosts and gods, otherwise I would have been tricked just now. Ghost Duke Hillis looked at Shen Jian, and the more he looked at him, the more he found the little priest in front of him very pleasing to his eyes. It was very different from the pastors she had worked with before. In the past, those priests were all aloof, relying on themselves as high-level believers of the glorious ghosts and gods, but they didn't have much respect for her as a duke, and they were extremely arrogant. On the contrary, this little priest not only saved her life, but also knew how to take her face into consideration. This was very useful to her. I was really careless this time. I didn't expect that this redemption society has such a profound foundation. It sent out top ghost kings from the beginning. It seems that this is not a newly established evil organization, but has been dormant for a long time, waiting for someone. Chance. The Ghost Duke apologized. Where's the next location? I'm going to catch these people myself. Right here. Shen Jian glanced in several directions and said casually. According to Andre, there are 5 evil spirits here. After the transformation is completed, they will run rampant in this holy city and cause riots. In the end, he will suppress them and gain reputation. In addition to the suicide ghost that has been transformed, there are 2 evil ghosts that have been revived. The words fell. Hey hey hey. A burst of weird laughter sounded. There are so many beautiful faces, they are all mine, they are all mine. All the guards suddenly felt their bodies stiffen. Looking in the direction of the sound, everyone's scalp was numb and their spines were cold. I saw a man with his whole face split in half, like a piranha flower, walking out. A wild sound came from his mouth. His scarlet eyes were fixed on the pedestrians on the street, or in other words, staring at other people's faces with a look of covetous expression. This moment, the guards' hearts trembled. Top Ghost King. This turned out to be another evil ghost at the level of a top Ghost King. Are there no normal people in this redemption society? Can it still get better? They finally followed the Duke on a mission, couldn't we give them a chance to perform? These are all top-notch Ghost Kings, and they still act like a jerk. Not running is already well trained. Hey, why is your face different from mine? It's impossible for your face to look like this. The slit-faced ghost smirked. The words fell. The terrifying supernatural being has arrived invisibly. The guards were horrified to find that the skin on their bodies was about to be torn, especially the skin on their faces. A jagged blood mark was slowly forming, and then split on both sides. It was as if an invisible hand grabbed their faces and pulled them apart to both sides. There is a heartbreaking pain. Think I don't exist. Ghost Duke Hillis's face was covered with a layer of anger, and thorns as red as blood spread under his feet. On the thorns, roses bloomed like blood. Every rose is watered by the blood of a fierce ghost. In the blink of an eye, he stabbed towards the slit-faced ghost. At the same time, upstairs on the other side, an evil ghost hidden in the darkness showed a ferocious smile. Reach out and pull it out. Pulled out a piece of his own bone. To the Ghost Duke. Shen Jian narrowed his eyes. There is golden thunder surrounding the 5 fingers. But then, Shen Jian was stunned for a moment. Something seemed to come to mind. Take your hand back. Think about it. Place the decorative golden medallion on the priest's robes on your chest. Then yelled, be careful. Within a tenth of a second, Shen Jian stood in front of Ghost Duke Hillis. By the time the Ghost Duke reacted, a bone spur had already pierced Shen Jian's chest. This moment, the Ghost Duke was confused, looking at the scene in disbelief. And Shen Jian knew that it was stable. What impresses a woman more than a hero saving a beauty is taking a bullet for her. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Something strange is coming? Fortunately, I am the king of hell of the 10th palace. Author, Shi Yubuletin Chigua. Chapter 556. On the battlefield. Careful. Shen Jian's voice suddenly sounded. Within a tenth of a second, the crossbar was beside Ghost Duke Hillis. At the same time, a sharp bone came out from the side and stabbed straight at Shen Jian. Shen Jian clicked his tongue. I was cursing in my heart, what kind of rubbish eyesight has missed the target? Even if a dog comes, it won't be able to throw such an accurate target. Next time, sit at the same table with an 80-year-old grandma. Think of this. The moment the bone penetrated the body, Shen Jian shifted the direction slightly to align it with the chest, and held the stabbed bone without leaving any trace to ensure that the target would not be wrong. It all happened too fast. By the time the Ghost Duke and the guards reacted, the bone had already stabbed into Shen Jian's chest, and under the influence of inertia, he hit the horse's back. In an instant, everyone in the audience was stunned. First, he glanced at Shen Jian, who helped the Duke block the bone spurs, and then looked at the direction of the attack. He couldn't help but roared. Damn it! There was actually an evil spirit hiding in the corner and taking the opportunity to attack. If the priest hadn't blocked it for the Duke, wouldn't this bone spur have directly penetrated the Duke's head? Think of this. All the guards were shocked. The Duke is the head of one of the 4 holy families in the empire. He has unparalleled influence in the empire. If he dies here, all the guards will be dead. Not to mention that the Inoadan family would not let them go, there would be no place for them in the entire Ili Empire. They were afraid for a while. Eyes are red. Rush straight towards the enemy on the other side. At the same time, the bone ghost who secretly threw the bone spear also looked at the scene in a daze. There was no flesh and blood on his body, and he was completely made of bones. There was a dark green flame in the eye socket. Similarly, he is also a top ghost king. All the supernatural powers in his body are concentrated on his bones. If the bone spear is stabbed, the enemy will die. But he didn't know if it was an illusion, but he seemed to see the priest giving him a somewhat contemptuous look, and also grabbed the bone spear he threw. Although he let go only for a moment, he still had doubts in his heart. His bone spear will kill you if you touch it, and you will die if you stab it. But that priest, he seems to still be alive. And how does he feel that the other party did it on purpose? Otherwise, if the bone spear is caught, how could it be allowed to be stabbed by the bone spear? This is not a good deal. The bone ghost bared his teeth. Nothing feels right. But he didn't want to think too much, and the evil thoughts in his heart kept coming, making him just want to kill everyone present. Then he pulled out a section of bone again. However, before he could cast it, a cold voice came from below. "Damn it, you guys are tired of living if you dare to touch my people." The face of Ghost Duke Hillis became extremely ugly. A sea of roses spread across the entire street. The buildings, the ground, and even the ghosts were entangled with rose thorns and vines. Then, they opened the heads of the two evil ghosts, and blood roses, as red as blood, bloomed on it. A supernatural attack. Two evil ghosts at the top Ghost King level were suppressed on the spot and shot in the head. Shen Jian was slightly surprised. Although these two evil ghosts are top-notch Ghost Kings who were born out of extreme resentment, they all have the necessary supernatural strength. If they attack first, it is not impossible to kill a top Ghost King who is infinitely close to ghosts and gods. Did not expect. Now he was killed instantly. Looking at it this way, this Ghost Duke has a very high supernatural power. Shen Jian was thoughtful. Thinking. Ghost Duke Hillis had finished the battle and came to Shen's gym with an anxious look on his face. Are you okay?" Her eyes were very complicated. A supernatural attack launched by a top Ghost King caught her off guard, and even the powerful ghosts would be killed and put into a panic. However, the little priest in front of her chose to block the gun for her without hesitation. Isn't he afraid of death? Was it worth it to save her, a stranger? Shen Jian did not speak, but opened his robe, revealing the golden badge inside. The golden badge had been penetrated completely, and a small section had protruded out, almost piercing his skin. To this, Shen Jian was helpless. He originally wanted to see blood. Unexpectedly, he underestimated his own physical fitness and even more underestimated the opponent's strength. "It's okay, it's just a broken left shoulder bone." Although he thought so in his heart, Shen Jian still frowned. Hear this. Ghost Duke Hillis was even more ashamed. The first time, she was accidentally affected by the supernatural power of a suicidal ghost, and it was Shen Jian who saved her. This second time, Shen Jian was asked to block a fatal spear for her. If something happened to Shen Jian, she would live with guilt for the rest of her life. "Go to my house and I will help you find the most professional and famous doctor in the palace. You will not have any bad effects. Even if there is a problem, I will take care of you for the rest of your life. I swear on the honor of the Inoadan family." The Ghost Duke helped Shen Jian up and said seriously. A posture of "I will be responsible." Shen Jian. He blinked. This Ghost Duke was surprisingly straightforward. Wait, what about these two evil spirits? Smelling the overwhelmingly strong fragrance of roses on his shoulders, Shen Jian's eyes moved, but he did not forget his goal. The Ghost Duke's arrival was just an accident. But collecting evil ghosts and gaining fame was his plan from the beginning, so how could he miss it? "Kill Ghost Duke," Hillis said gloomily. "No, Sir Duke, Didn't you say that these two evil ghosts are members of the Redemption Society? You also know that I am a priest. I can try to get these two evil ghosts to return to the right path, and I can also help Sir Duke. You find out the real stronghold of this Redemption Society. But, he hurt you. I am a pastor. I complain straight away and guide evil people to the right path. This is a virtue that a pastor adheres to. Hear this. Everyone in the audience was in awe. Listen, what is noble? This is nobility. He had just been injured by an evil spirit. If the badge on his chest hadn't saved his life, he would have fallen into a permanent sleep. However, even so, the other party still restrains himself with extremely high moral standards and is willing to give his enemy a chance. This kind of magnanimity makes them feel ashamed and makes them fall to the ground. Okay, I'll leave them to you. The Ghost Duke listened, his eyes filled with brilliance. I feel more and more that this little pastor is very special. See this. Shen Jian's eyes moved. Ghost Duke Hillis. Current status, admired, moved, curious. Favorability, 75, ambiguous. Shen Jian's eyes moved slightly. From 40 points at the beginning, to 50 points when the hero saves the beauty, and now 75 points, in less than half a day, the favorability level has soared from the friendly stage of 40 points to the ambiguous stage of 75 points. This is the importance of routines. Otherwise, it would be impossible for any woman to have such a favorable impression of a person in half a day. Certainly. This kind of one-time improvement in favorability has the risk of falling later. If you want to really push your favorability to 80 points, you need to continue to have contact. Soon. Andre received the news and rushed over. Came to the two evil ghosts and prepared to recover them. Split-face ghost? Bone ghost. The two ghosts suddenly froze, and their pupils shrank. His eyes immediately turned red. It's him. It was this demon that kidnapped them and turned them into evil spirits. Did not expect. The other party now dared to appear in front of them with such arrogance. Both ghosts were dumbfounded. Wrapped by roses and thorns, only a pair of pupils were exposed, looking towards Shen Jian in disbelief. Although they were suppressed. But it was not without five senses, and he naturally heard what Shen Jian just said. They were a little moved at first, thinking that they would give the priest a good time next time instead of torture. But now. They are wrong. Grass. That pastor was clearly the leader of the Redemption Church. Otherwise Andre would never have such respect for this man. In other words, everything they encountered was actually planned by this man. I'm crazy. This is not to let them take the right path. It is clearly to kill them and silence them, to have them destroyed humanely, and to destroy the evidence. Think of this. The two ghosts panicked. The eyes are crazy and suggestive. I was shouting silently in my heart, damn it, don't believe that pastor, you have been deceived, he is just an evil ghost disguised as a good person. However, bound by roses and thorns, they were speechless. Only one eye was left moving. At this time, a guard discovered this scene. Your Excellency, what do they want to say? The slit-face ghost and the bone ghost blinked at the same time. Zion. When we escape, we will also give you a good time. The ghost duke turned his head and frowned, not wanting to listen. Although Shen Jian chose to forgive the other party, it did not mean that she did not want to kill these two evil spirits. See it? Shen Jian smiled and said, I think they are saying thank you. Slit-faced ghost. Bone ghost. Their eyes were split open, and their entire eyeballs were filled with blood. Damn it! We thank you, M. Thank you for choosing us among the many evil ghosts and turning us into evil ghosts. You despicable fellow. Fortunately, we were a little touched just now. Give us back our feelings. The two of them wanted to cry but had no tears. Whining. But it's a pity. No one paid any attention to them. They could only watch as they were dragged away. Dragging from one hell to another. Tired, destroy it? Something strange is coming? Fortunately, I am the king of hell of the 10th palace. Author, Shiyubuletin Chigwa. Chapter 557. The Inoadan Family. Duke's Palace. The news that the head of the Hillis family, one of the 4 great dukes in the empire, personally brought back a man has spread a lot. It caused quite a stir. Unlike the Qing kingdom where the monarch's centralized power was attributed to one person, the Eli Empire of Olympus was a traditional European empire. Although the royal family was the master of the empire, there were forces within the empire to check and balance it. Those are the 4 holy families. Among them, Hillis is the contemporary head of the Inoadan family. While the world was still speculating that the Duchess would marry the heirs of the other 3 duke houses or royal children, the other party was actually in full view of the public. Brought back a man. And in a supporting position. The gestures and movements are very intimate. To know. As the head of one of the 4 holy families, one of the 4 great dukes in the empire, and the only Duchess, I don't know how many young talents in the empire are fascinated by him. However, until now, no one has heard of this. Which Duchess has had close contact with the young master of a certain family? Shen Jian was the first. When Shen Jian knew all this, it was already 2 days later. In order to implement his injured character, he stayed in the Duke's mansion for 2 days, but he also learned a lot of secrets. For example, the Duke's servants said that the iron tree of Zillis was blooming. Another example. There are things related to ghosts and gods behind the 4 holy families. The 4 holy families symbolize the power of the 4 seasons. Among them, the Inoadan family has the power of spring, which can make all things bloom, absorb nutrients from the corpse, and bloom. The remaining 3 major families master the supernatural powers of summer, autumn, and winter respectively. Each of the supernatural powers has different manifestations, but they are all based on one thing, and that is blood. Except for the members of the 4 holy families, no one can master the power of the seasons, and only one person in each generation of successors can master this supernatural power. The person who inherited this supernatural power is the current head of the family. Apparently, the heir of this generation of the Inoadan family is Ceres. Shen Jian was very interested. The unique inheritance of this form reminded him of those who belong to ghosts and gods. In his opinion, the so-called inheritance of supernatural powers is actually that the ghosts and gods behind him take a fancy to one of them and make him a dependent of the ghosts and gods. In the resonance with the ghosts and gods, they gradually master the supernatural powers belonging to the ghosts and gods. To master the supernatural powers of the 4 seasons, in a place like Olympus, I can only think of Demeter, the goddess of fertility, one of the 12 main gods. Shen Jian was thoughtful. This is the first time he has a clue that this deep ghost realm is related to Mount Olympus and the 12 main gods. In other words, 12 ghosts and gods. He didn't know whether they were the genuine 12 main gods of Greece, but he knew that these ghosts and gods who occupied this deep ghost realm were not much stronger. Otherwise, there is no need to take one of Luo Feng's 6 heavens in the underworld as his own and change its name. At this time, it's already night time. Shen Jian looked at this land from a distance, his eyes twinkling. In the past 2 days, the members of the Redemption Society headed by Andrei have transformed into another evil ghost, waiting for him to increase his reputation. The process of unlocking the Hell Realm is very smooth. But he has never met the host of Dragon Energy. This was one of the main reasons why he came to Olympus. If he can't even wait for the host of Dragon Energy with 4 Dragon Energy and maximum luck, then it will be even harder to find a needle in a haystack. And there are a total of 4 dragon auras scattered in Luo Feng's 6 heavens. Except for Olympus, There are 3 without a trace. It's difficult to get it all together. Think of this. Shen Jian frowned slightly. Zhou Tian Palace is the only Luo Fengtian who he has collected half of the authorities so far, but if it is really hard to find, he doesn't mind changing his target. Thinking. A gentle breeze came. The rich fragrance of roses hits your nostrils. Shen Jian looked up. On the balcony of the castle on the 2nd floor, Ghost Duke Hillis was wearing a red silk dress with suspenders. The skirt generously only covered her thighs. 2 long white and tender legs were displayed in front of him through the railing, shaking people's hearts clearly. Under night. The breeze blows. The fragrance of roses hit her face, and her long wavy hair as red as blood was blown up. This is a very beautiful picture. It's heartwarming. Little priest. Ghost Duke Hillis also noticed Shen Jian standing outside. He slightly pulled his long hair behind him and leaned down. Want to come up and chat? Hear this. Shen Jian's eyes were strange. There is a sense of déjà vu. Uncle, come up and play. No hesitation. Shen Jian walked up to the 2nd floor. Open the door. I saw the Ghost Duke sitting on the balcony, drinking red wine. 2 long milky white legs crossed, reflecting an alluring light under the soft moonlight. Want some? The Ghost Duke's tone was a little calm. He poured Shen Jian a drink while he was minding his own business. Shen Jian didn't look outside and took a sip. In the past few days, I have thought carefully about the arrest operation 2 days ago, and found that I was too careless. I thought that this redemption group was just a new group of kidnappers. But when I think about it carefully, the other party dared to kidnap me directly. How can the people in the Duke's palace be so simple? If you hadn't saved me twice, I probably wouldn't have had a chance to come back alive. Do you think I'm useless? The Ghost Duke said and drank the remaining red wine in one gulp. Under the hazy night, the girl put on women's clothes and looked extremely sexy, with a trace of rosy color appearing on her delicate face. Shen Jian. The corners of his mouth twitched slightly. No, you really are overthinking this matter. It was simply because he was too arrogant about his brother. Although he did not break the law, he caused public outrage, which led to Andre's kidnapping, that's all. Your Majesty the Duke. Call me Hill. This is my nickname. It sounds friendly to me. Shen Jian looked slightly startled. There is an imperceptible smile in his eyes. Shen Jian knows best what it means when a woman is willing to tell you her nickname and ask you to call her more affectionately. It seems that the impact of the 2 heroic rescues has not been used up yet. Even if he doesn't recover for a day, the Ghost Duke will feel more guilty towards him. Think about it. Shen Jian said, you are in charge of the affairs of the clan at a young age, you are a duke, and you have countless suitors in the Yilai Empire. If you are useless, aren't you saying that the Yilai Empire is mediocre? The pursuers are all greedy people who are greedy for the power of my family. They pursue me because they want to rely on the reputation of the Inoadan family to achieve their own goals. I despise such people the most. Ghost Duke Hillis said coldly. Shen Jian understood. She is still an innocent girl who wants to enjoy pure love. Do you really think I'm excellent? She seemed unsure and asked again. Of course, the first time I saw you, Hill, I knew that you were the most dazzling in the entire Yilai Empire. Shen Jian's face was not red, his heart was not beating, and his eyes were deep. Said. He leaned forward to let the other party see his seriousness. What, little pastor, what are you talking about? Hearing these ambiguous words, Ghost Duke Hillis's cheeks turned even redder. I can no longer tell whether I am drunk or drunk. She raised her delicate eyebrows. Young pastor, by speaking like this, have you deceived the hearts of many ignorant women? Everything I say is true. Shen Jian did not respond, but said seriously. See this. Ghost Duke Hillis appeared with evasive eyes. Maybe she felt that the current atmosphere was too ambiguous, so she stood up suddenly. But she didn't know if it was due to the influence of alcohol. As soon as she stood up, she staggered a few times and almost fell down. Shen Jian supported her and held her delicate body in his arms. "Hill, your nerves are too tense. You should take a good rest." He could feel the Duchess's tense body. Apparently, she was very unaccustomed to being hugged by other men. If it were any other man, his head would be bursting with blood right now. That is to say, he had the influence bonus of 2 heroic rescues of beauty, so the Duchess did not choose to push away. To this, Shen Jian naturally planned to strike while the iron was hot. When a woman is at her most vulnerable, it is also a good opportunity to take advantage of it. "Let me help you calm down your nerves and relax your body." Ghost Duke Hillis looked at Shen Jian with confused eyes, not saying anything, just staring. Shen Jian said seriously, "I am a priest." Potential meaning, I have noble virtues and am different from other men with evil intentions. A long time. She sat unsteadily on the bed. "How should I cooperate with you?" "Just lie down, I will take care of it myself." The Ghost Duke did not doubt it. Perhaps it was because of her favorable impression during the ambiguous stage, or perhaps because she thought that he was a priest and would not take advantage of others. She followed Shen Jian's words and lay on the bed, with her slightly drunken face pillowed between her only crossed hands. From Shen Jian's perspective, it's so beautiful. Different from other Chinese-style, realistic female ghosts he had seen, the Ghost Duke Hillis in front of him was a typical medieval European-style female ghost. Delicacy and gorgeousness were synonymous with them. Coupled with a face that resembles a cartoon-like goddess, there is a sense of déjà vu as if the cartoon has been brought into reality. Thinking. Shen Jian put his hands on his waist. "Ah!" Caught off guard, the Duchess let out a scream. This voice is 3 parts soulful, 3 parts nervous, and 4 parts painful. "Does it hurt?" "No, it's okay, I was distracted just now, please continue." She was embarrassed to say that she had just been too neurotic. "Soon." Shen Jian gently pressed her slender waist. The Duchess's waist is really thin. Judging from the collapsed silhouette of the suspender silk dress, it really looks slim. Although he had exercised great restraint, perhaps due to the influence of alcohol, the Duchess still kept making embarrassing anthracene sounds from her mouth and nose. Neither of them spoke. "It's just that the atmosphere in the room is getting hotter." Shen Jian's movements also became more irregular. His palms pressed on the silky dress, pushing forward from her tailbone to the back of her neck without encountering any obstacles along the way. Shen Jian's expression froze. No obstacles. The strangeness in his eyes was a little deeper. "Vacuum, packaging. Something strange is coming?" "Fortunately, I am the king of hell of the 10th palace." Author, Shi Yubuletin Chi Gua. Chapter 558. The Other Side. The Duke's Palace of Inoaden welcomed other guests. A group of guards who originally followed the Ghost Duke stopped a guest who broke into the Duke's mansion. This person has long ice blue hair, a tall figure, and his entire body looks like it is made of ice, exuding a cold air. "Duke Calli, please don't embarrass us. The Duke has already rested. If you plan to visit, you can send a formal letter of visit the next day, and the Duke will accept it." The guards were miserable. The man in front of him is the head of the Calli family, one of the 4 holy families alongside the Inoaden family, and is also one of the 4 great dukes. And he is also the suitor of Duke Hilai. He had expressed his love and thought of marriage a long time ago. For this reason, this person regarded Duke Silas as his forbidden love. Everyone in the entire empire knew about this matter. Now, hearing that another man had moved into the Duke's mansion, and that Duke Hillis personally helped him back, it was no wonder that this man rushed over like crazy. Roll. Duke Kali spat out coldly. The ghostly coldness emanating from his whole body seemed to condense even in the air. Terrifying supernatural beings that are infinitely close to ghosts and gods are scattered everywhere. His figure flashed. When he reappeared, he had arrived at the castle where Hylas lived. The guards tried hard to intercept him, but they couldn't stop him at all. At this time, a noise sounded out of nowhere. Everyone was stunned. This ecstatic sound seemed to be coming from Duke Hylas. There was a bit of charm and a bit of hum in the tone. "Don't touch there, it's itchy. Take it easy. My hands are a little numb, let me turn around." Hearing this charming voice, everyone present was stunned. All the guards were dumbfounded on the spot. I wish I could deafen my ears right now. Oh my God, what did they hear? It seems that the Duke lives alone here, right? Wrong. The pastor also moved in. According to the Duke, Shen Jian was injured because of her, and she must take care of him personally, otherwise she would feel uneasy. So, Lord Duke, did you take care of him, take care of him, take care of him to your bedroom? This sounds so damn wrong, why does it feel wrong? Could it be that you, the Duke, seduced him yourself? Think of this. The guards were even more frightened. Died young. Do they still have a chance to get out of this castle? The guards looked at Duke Kali aside, with a hint of sympathy in their eyes. The goddess I was pursuing was making such a sound in a private place like the bedroom with another man in the middle of the night. No matter how you think about it, it's impossible to play Ludo. More importantly, it was the Duke of Kali who broke in and heard it in person. This critical attack was no less than a husband who worked hard to buy a gift and went home to surprise his wife, only to find that his wife had already put it on him. A big surprise. Pure love for the god of war must break apart. The other side. Shen Jian, who helped Ghost Duke Hylas relax his nerves, walked out of the bedroom. He let out a deep breath. He hammered the wall lightly. This Duchess is really relieved about him. A lonely man and a widower, he invited him over for a drink in the middle of the night and lay on the bed unprotected. It was still a vacuum. If the progress was not too fast, it would easily make the other party wary and think that he had evil intentions. He really wanted to know the other party at that time. What does it mean that Zhao Zilong saves a duke, 7 in and 7 out? But after this night's rules, Ghost Duke Hylas seemed to have decided that he was not that kind of person, and her favorable impression of him had soared to 79. It's only 1 point away from the intimacy stage. Next time. I guess I can taste this dangerous rose-like Duchess. Thinking. Shen Jian was stunned for a moment. I saw a group of unrelated people on the first floor with big eyes and small eyes. Shen Jian frowned and waved his hand. Sil has gone to bed. Don't disturb her now. If you have anything to do, we'll talk about it tomorrow. A group of guards. Duke of Kali. Everyone was stunned. Eyes widened. Especially Duke Kali's eyes were red. A man came out of Hylas's bedroom, leaning on the wall. He still smelled of alcohol. Now he said the word already asleep and called Duke Hylas's nickname. This clue was already obvious. Everyone's hearts were filled with turmoil. Is the Duke's Palace of Inoatan about to welcome a male host? So do we want to have a good relationship now? Think of this. All the guards turned to look at Duke Kali and lowered their voices. Duke Kali, you heard it too. The Duke has gone to bed. If you have anything to do, you can submit a letter of visit tomorrow. Besides, you broke into the Duke's mansion tonight. We will truthfully report our behavior to the Duke, and hope that His Excellency the Duke of Kali will not cause misunderstandings between the two families. Hear this. Duke Kali took a deep look at Shen Jian. His eyes were so cold that it was unbelievable. As if he wanted to remember Shen Jian's appearance. Subsequently. Turn around and leave. Watch it all. Shen Jian raised his eyebrows. Duke of Kali? One of the four holy families, the Kali family that masters the supernatural powers of winter? He felt it. The opponent's terror is also at the level of a top Ghost King, similar to that of Ghost Duke series. And he also has the aura of being a descendant of ghosts and gods. Soon. Shen Jian put it behind him. The goddess you care about may have just let someone play with her whole body. He never cared much about dog licking. The next day. Chat interface. Andre, brother, there is something you should know. The group of players walked out of the monastery and are now in the church. See this. Shen Jian's eyes moved slightly. Calculate the time. It's really time for those white players who are trapped in a sea of misery to come out. Think about it. Shen Jian found the ghost Duke Zillis. After experiencing last night's ambiguity, the Duchess's attitude towards Shen Jian seemed to have become somewhat different. In addition to admiration and curiosity, there was also a bit of shame in his eyes. Apparently. After sobering up, she already knew that what happened last night was beyond the limits of her savior. Under the circumstances at that time, Shen Jian was a bit dishonest, so she might just go along with the situation and have an intimate relationship with Shen Jian inexplicably, but Shen Jian did not do this. Did nothing but help her relax. If it were any man, he would have been unable to control it long ago. Because of this, she was even more satisfied with Shen Jian. Hill, I'm going back to church. Ghost Duke Hillis was shocked all over and her cheeks turned red because she also said this title herself. At this time, when she was awake, Shen Jian said this name, which made her a little confused. Your injury hasn't healed yet. Wouldn't it be better to stay here for a few more days? I am a pastor, the church still needs me, and I also hope to put those two evil spirits on the right path as soon as possible and help you find the base of the Redemption Society. This is it. The corners of Ghost Duke Hillis's lips raised slightly. It turned out that the young pastor wanted to help him. In this case, it's not easy to stop her. But in her heart, she disliked this redemption meeting even more. Especially the leader of the Redemption Church, who always carries out terrorist attacks. When he is caught, he must kneel down and sing conquer. Then next time I go to church to see you, you won't welcome me, right? Always waiting. Shen Jian smiled. A few pleasantries were exchanged. Turn around and leave. Not long after. Church. As soon as Shen Jian came back, he saw a group of white players cleaning the house, as well as a player wearing a trainee priest's robe with the ID mic. See Shen Jian. All the white players present had ugly expressions in their eyes. Especially when they saw the formal priest's robe worn by Shen Jian, their expressions became even more distorted. In the home court of white people, an Eastern face was actually far ahead. And they are only qualified to clean the church. Even if Shen Jian did nothing, it would still be an insult to them. See this. Shen Jian just glanced flatly. Walk straight through. This scene. Make white players so angry that their back molars will break. If Shen Jian had ridiculed them, they would have felt better psychologically, but others simply ignored them, as if they didn't take them seriously. This made all the players feel pain in their faces. Not insulting them would be more uncomfortable than directly insulting them. Damn it, what does he mean? Does he think we are clowns? Hell, he's so arrogant. Does he think he's great just because he became a priest? Mike, what are we going to do? Are we going to let this yellow guy have his way in front of us? All the players were angry and gnashing their teeth. They all looked at Mike, who had the highest level in the audience. Mike also had a gloomy look on his face, but when he thought of Shen Jian walking on the ground with more than a dozen dark sides in the sea of suffering, he couldn't help but feel a chill. It was obvious that they alone could not deal with Shen Jian. But the secret of Olympus must not be brought back by an Eastern player. Otherwise, the Western world's dominance will not be maintained. This is what any Holy See Ghost controller doesn't want to see. He has a secret, and we alone can't deal with him at all. But we can make a big fuss about the fact that he was suspected of being taken over by the dark side in the monastery, and led the dark side out of the sea of suffering. We can let the church deal with him. Mike spoke. Wonderful, the church will never allow someone with the dark side to become a priest and damage the image. At the inevitable moment, we can pull down the glorious ghosts and gods as shields. These believers seem to believe this. Seconded. I have no opinion. Kill him. The other side. Shen Jian ignored the plans of Mike and his team. He strode to the interior of the church. His eyes seemed to be searching for something. Subsequently, on the bench at the front, he saw a thin, groggy civilian ghost dressed as a civilian. The other person prayed in front of the church. There are words in his mouth. Violently. Shen Jian's eyes sparkled. When he just stepped into the church courtyard, he noticed a weak dragon energy reaction. As he stepped into the church, the response to the dragon energy he sensed became even stronger. Now, he was finally stable. The civilian ghost sitting in front of the church praying is the host of dragon energy. His luck finally took effect for once. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Something strange is coming? Fortunately, I am the king of hell of the 10th palace. Author, Shi Yu Buletin Chi Gua. Chapter 559. Looking at the dragon energy host sitting on the church bench with his hands clasped together and mumbling something. Shen Jian's eyes lit up. How many days has it been? He almost thought that the effect of luck and max was useless to him. I didn't expect that the other party would come to my door today. Shen Jian strode away. He took a clear look at the man dressed as a civilian in front of him. There was a slight surprise in his eyes. Because this ghost is really ordinary and unremarkable, even the horror level is only red-clothed, so it was beyond his expectation that it could become the host of dragon energy. In his opinion, the host who can be selected by the authority of Zhouju Yintian Palace, one of Luo Feng's 6 heavens, must be a supernatural master, even if he is not a ghost or god, and possesses something special. However, this ghost is extremely ordinary, just like ordinary people. But when the other party raised his head, Shen Jian saw double eyes. This turned out to be a rare ghost with double pupils. Those with double pupils are born gods and have the aura of a king. No matter what the record is, a person with double eyes is not ordinary, even if he is just a ghost. Shen Jian was very interested. At this time, the double-eyed ghost also noticed Shen Jian's arrival. Pastor, what should I do? What are you confused about? Master Priest, are you willing to believe me? The double-eyed ghost said in surprise. Why don't you believe it? Because I have visited all the churches, but no one wanted to believe me. They regarded me as a troublemaker, kicked me out, and forbade me to come near again. Talk about it? This time, Shen Jian was really interested. Master Priest, I have a devilish personality. The double-eyed ghost said cautiously. Shen Jian was slightly startled. The eyes are a little weird. No wonder he was kicked out of various cathedrals. In his opinion, the fierce ghost in front of him had a strong aura. Although the yin energy was rioting, he couldn't detect any resentment at all. He was completely harmless to humans and animals. However, the other party said that he had a devilish personality and that he was not crazy, so he could only cause trouble on purpose. Think of this. Shen Jian began to feel it carefully. Then he raised his eyebrows slightly. This time, he did detect a trace of resentment in the other party's body, but not much. Shen Jian was thoughtful. Because he became the host of dragon energy, his resentment was suppressed? Continue. Hear this. The double-eyed ghost became even more excited. Because whenever he talked about this, he would be kicked out by the local pastor. Shen Jian was one of the few people who was willing to listen to what he had to say. It's like this, Pastor. Where I live, everyone has a strange disease. When they reach a certain age, a second personality will suddenly appear. And this personality is extremely vicious and full of resentment. Every night when night falls, evil spirits appear. The personality would take our place, active at night, and until the next day everything would be back to the way it was before and we would have no memory of the personality. I used to be one of them. I never stepped out of my place in my life. I was active during the day every day. After nightfall, I would lose my previous memories. Until one day, I don't know why, my evil ghost personality was suppressed, and I wake up. I understand that there is something weird about this place, but no matter how I try to persuade the villagers, they just think that I am stupid. There is no other way. I can only choose to leave and come to the holy city to go to the church to find a solution. After listening, Shen Jian pondered. That's right. This double-eyed ghost suddenly became the host of dragon energy one day, suppressing the existence of the evil ghost's personality. Only evil personalities all over the place? The double-eyed ghost's words reminded him of the good and dark sides of the Scarlet Monastery. It's just that one is split into two unique individuals. One is one body with many souls. But the essence is still the same. Is this place related to the Scarlet Monastery? Master Priest, everything I said is true. I trust you. If you don't believe it, I have. The double-eyed ghost's voice stopped abruptly. He looked at Shen Jian blankly. Do you believe it? No, why did you believe it? I haven't come up with the evidence yet. He was confused. The shadow of being blasted out before was so great that now that Shen Jian believed in his words, he began to doubt his life. Thinking that Shen Jian was just pitying him. You believe it? What? Are you telling a lie? Shen Jian raised his eyebrows. No, no, of course it's true, but I didn't even provide any evidence, so why did you believe it? Aren't you afraid that I was just entertaining you? Son, I'm a pastor and I believe everyone who comes in and prays. Shen Jian touched his head and said seriously. Haha, this place is full of evil ghost personalities. Even if this place is fake, I will make it real for you. He had caught the demon in this place, and Jesus could not dissuade it. An imperceptible strange smile flashed across Shen Jian's face. This dragon chi host is really a good person. Not only did it send him dragon energy, but also a large number of evil ghosts. Really? He is actually also the European emperor. Ghost with double eyes. He looked at Shen Jian's age and then at his own. This pastor, is he taking advantage of him? Besides, why did he feel that something was wrong with the way the pastor looked at him? The double-eyed ghost choked a little. But after thinking about it, Shen Jian was the only one among the 36 churches who believed in him. If he didn't seize this opportunity, there would be nothing he could do. A place like Elim Temple was not a place where a commoner like him could go to pray. Then, the double-eyed ghost was about to take out the reward and ask Shen Jian to go with him. No matter what the price was, even if he had to sell his kidney, he would still have enough chips to invite Shen Jian. When to set off? At this time, Shen Jian grabbed the heavy-eyed ghost's hand and spoke first. Ghost with double eyes? Looking at Shen Jian with an excited expression, his facial muscles twitched slightly. Why are you so cooperative? Why do you feel like you want to save my hometown more than me? Did he meet a good priest today who had noble moral character and served the devil wholeheartedly? The double-eyed ghost was a little moved. Now you can. Very good. A satisfied smile appeared on Shen Jian's face. The commotion created by the Redemption Society in the Holy City cannot stop, but this is not enough, because this method of gaining reputation cannot be frequent, otherwise there will be no smart people to connect it all. And the reputation gained by this method will not reach the standard in a short period of time. The only purpose of doing this is to catch evil ghosts and supplement his performance indicators for unlocking the Hell Realm. However, the problem mentioned by the double-eyed ghost gave Shen Jian other ways to increase his reputation. If he guessed correctly, the reason why this strange disease appears in the territory where the double-eyed ghost is located should be related to the monastery. Someone is secretly spreading supernatural powers in the monastery to create evil ghosts in batches. Think of this. The smile on Shen Jian's face became even stronger. At this time, there is a new message in the chat interface. It is a private chat interface. Yunlong, Yama, these white players are planning how to deal with you. You'd better be mentally prepared. See this. Shen Jian narrowed his eyes. This Chinese player's position is a bit strange. He was obviously a ghost controller on the side of the Holy See, but his attitude toward him was not the same as that of other white players. Instead, he showed friendly kindness. And he seemed to have something to say to him. But seeing that Lucy was also present, this consideration was dismissed. Now he was told about the plan hatched by the white players, an undercover plan? Shen Jian was thoughtful. King Yama, I understand. He ignored the players' plans. If he had just entered the church, this plan might indeed cost him a lot of effort, but now, he is the only spokesperson of the church, and he is also a priest who can resonate with the glorious ghosts and gods. His reputation in the church even exceeds that of the archbishop. If these white players dare to file a complaint, they are waiting to face the wrath of fanatics. It's not surprising that it was torn apart. Soon, Shen Jian arrived at the destination under the leadership of the double-eyed ghost. Based on what he learned along the way, the place where the double-eyed ghost is located is the territory of an imperial count. It's called Chell territory. The diameter area exceeds 100,000 square kilometers. If he could build up his reputation in a place like this, he would have his position as priest decided. You might even be able to enter Elim temple in advance. And you can also gather all 50 evil ghosts here at once. He couldn't refuse such a temptation. Just thinking about it, the two of them had appeared in a small town. The town is not prosperous. It can even be called somewhat deserted. It is definitely not normal for the territory under the jurisdiction of an imperial earl to be in such a depressed situation. It can even be said to be very abnormal. But looking at Hitomi Ghost's attitude, we know that the true situation in Chell's territory has been blocked. Outsiders have no way of knowing. At this time, the double-eyed ghost also said, Master Priest, this place is very evil. I have persuaded other people to leave with me. There are also 1 or 2 villagers who left with me in doubt, but I don't know why. As long as I leave the town, if you open the door, the villagers will go back like crazy, as if they can't leave at all. I suspect that even in broad daylight, the evil ghost personality in our body is always aware of our movements. Although it cannot take over our body, it can let us return to the territory subconsciously. Shen Jian nodded. According to the meaning of double-eyed ghosts, the second personality in their body is actually more like the main personality. Not only can they know the whereabouts of the body at all times, but they can even affect the body's consciousness. This is a sign that an evil spirit is about to take over the body and replace the identity. It looks more and more like the situation in the monastery. Let's go and sweep away, oh no, go and save the world. Something strange is coming? Fortunately, I am the king of hell of the 10th palace. Author, Shi Yubuletin Chigua. Chapter 560. Chell Territory. This place is the territory under the jurisdiction of an imperial count. According to the hierarchy of the Eli Empire, From Baron, Viscount, Earl, Marquis to Duke, the Earl is located in the third level. Although it is only a middle-ranking rank, its status is already very high. You can get a glimpse of it just from a territory of more than 100,000 square kilometers. Walking in the territory, the double-eyed ghost pointed forward and said, "Master Priest, if we go further, we will reach the town where we live. That place is very evil. Are we sure we don't need reinforcements?" His tone was a little panicked. At that time, he was dazzled by trust, and he was afraid that Shen Jian would give up the mission due to some changes, so he brought the other party here in a hurry. But now that I think about it, they were too reckless. The anomalies in Chel's territory are not something that one of their red-clad fierce ghosts or a church priest can deal with. In his opinion, it is the safest plan for Shen Jian to report to the Elim temple, and then the temple sends priests and disciplinary knights to investigate. Otherwise, it is very likely that the sheep will fall into the tiger's mouth. Shen Jian glanced at him. "What? You don't believe in your luck?" "Luck?" The double-eyed ghost was slightly startled. Although he did feel that the journey to the holy city was very smooth. Not only were kind people helping him along the way, but he also picked up leaks from time to time and saved a lot of horror coins. He was really lucky, but this was not related to the fact that they were about to enter the city. What does the tiger's mouth have to do with it? Can luck prevent others from shooting? Shen Jian seemed to see the double-eyed ghost's doubts, but he did not respond. In his opinion, this place should be a large-scale experimental field. It may not be strictly guarded, but at least it will not let a big living ghost leave in a big way. The double-eyed ghost's ability to safely enter the holy city can only be described as luck. This is the greatest effect of dragon energy. During the Qing dynasty, the younger brother of a third-grade minister was able to win every bet in the casino just by holding golden beads and relying on the weak dragon energy. The double-eyed ghost has become the host of dragon energy, has a strong luck bonus, and can do everything with half the effort. Picking up treasures in the antique street, selling ghost weapons at roadside stalls, falling off a cliff to obtain the inheritance of ghosts and gods, these are all common routines for dragon energy hosts. Thoughts are spinning. Shen Jian asked again, "How much do you know about the Earl here?" The double-eyed ghost shook his head. "I am a red-clothed powerful ghost, how can I have the chance to know the secrets of such a big shot, but I know the name of the Earl, it should be, Earl Diamond. Also, I have heard from the villagers that the territory of Chel is not the fiefdom of Earl Diamond. It is only because the Earl likes this place that he has lived there all year round. Listen to this." Shen Jian took a look at the sparsely populated land, where the air was filled with strong resentment and the land was sleepy. Although fierce ghosts like places with strong yin energy, if they live in an environment full of resentment all year round, their temperament will definitely become cruel. He believed that no ghost would want to stay for long. This count has a big problem. Conversation room. Sudden changes occur. On the plain in the distance, a chase was taking place. A little girl who looked 15 or 16 years old, wearing a taro skirt, ran as fast as she could, followed by two big men with kitchen knives in their hands. Sensing an outsider not far away, the little girl showed a surprised expression and waved desperately to Shen Jian, as if asking for help. At the same time, he ran faster. The two big men behind him yelled curses, but they were unable to catch each other, and the distance became wider and wider. "See this?" Shen Jian stood there, watching expressionlessly. The double-eyed ghost on the side was anxious. Immediately said, "Master Pastor, that little girl seems to have ran away from the small town. Did she suddenly wake up like me? We need to save her. With her, we have more evidence. When the time comes, report it to the Elim temple and convince the priests." Shen Jian thought for a while. It makes sense. Indeed, she is quite valuable. The words fell. The little girl has already ran over. He glanced at Shenjian, who was wearing a priest's robe, without leaving any trace. An imperceptible sinister smile flashed across his childish face, and then his expression changed rapidly. He said in surprise, "Are you outsiders? There are bad guys chasing me, brother, can you help me?" "Don't worry, we will protect you." The double-eyed ghost nodded firmly. "See this?" The smile on the little girl's face became even stronger. The smile was a little piercing. Chilling. Soon, two big men gave chase. Looking at the little girl who had successfully blended into the group of strangers and was hiding behind the double-eyed ghost, two big men slowly approached with kitchen knives. At the same time, he said with a gloomy face, "Outlander, have you seen a little girl wearing a tarot skirt?" The double-eyed ghost was about to speak. Shenjian has already made a move. He stretched out his big hand, pulled the little girl out, and said in a preaching tone, "I saw it, isn't it right here? You are too careless. How did you become a dealer? It's really unprofessional. It can still make people run away." Ghost with double eyes? Two big men? Little girl? Hear this. They were stunned. His mouth was slightly open, and he seemed a little confused inside. "No. As a pastor, shouldn't you defend this little girl who is being hunted? Did you just humming sell her? What is this operation? Besides, we are not ghost traffickers." The little girl who was dragged out couldn't hold herself any longer. "What the hell, what's going on with this pastor? He smiled at me and then sold me without changing his expression?" Coupled with this skill of speaking, a set of operations is extremely skillful, as if it has been done many times. Even she, a liar who specializes in lying, is ashamed. Seeing that the two big men were silent, Shenjian patted the little girl on the shoulder again and said with experience, "What? Do you think this is fake? Don't worry, she is still covered in mud under her feet, and her face is gray. She is taking advantage of you at first sight. I accidentally ran out and was chased by you all the way, this can't be fake," said Shenjian threw the little girl in front of two big men. "Be careful next time, especially little girls of this age. They have many thoughts. If you don't pay attention, you may get caught. At least one person must stay when guarding, otherwise this kind of thing will happen again. Hear this insight." The two big men looked at each other and looked at each other. They all saw the confusion in each other's eyes. "I'm crazy. Why don't you play your cards according to the routine? Shouldn't you see the little girl as pitiful, protect her desperately, and then have her money stolen from her in the company of others, only to be helpless and furious in the end? Why did you throw it back to us?" And, listening to Shenjian's remarks, the two big men suddenly felt that this priest seemed to be very professional in the art of ghost dealers. It's like being a real ghost dealer. This panicked the two of them. But soon, the two big men reacted immediately, planning to bring the situation back by force. Then, the two of them looked like horrible dead people, with a ghostly face filled with maggots crawling in the hole. They looked at Shenjian gloomily. "Haha, you said this is the person we are chasing, but I don't think it looks like it. Are you there? Lie to us." "Not quite." Shenjian looked at the two of them with a retarded expression. "Don't mind if I speak bluntly. Just open your eyes again. Don't wait to pass it on to your children, making them stupid from birth. Two big men. Grass. God will pass it on to his children in the future. Can you stop being so vicious when you say something while riding a horse? We no longer know who the bad guy is." They frowned. This pastor is so lacking in quality. But in order for these two people to take away the little girl smoothly, they still suppressed their anger and said coldly, "Supernatural things are possible. Who knows if you secretly changed her, or pretended to be a fake one and used supernatural creatures to deceive her, killed us. Be angry. If you get angry, start fighting. If we start fighting, we will run away and let the little girl go with you. This is the correct script. Oh. Shen Jian was a little surprised and raised his eyebrows. I didn't expect that. You guys don't look very smart, but you think about things very thoughtfully. The two big men were stunned. My lungs are about to explode. There was a moment of gnashing of teeth. You'd better be polite when riding a horse. Don't ghosts need civilization? Your 9 years of compulsory education were all spent feeding dogs. Watch it, I will only demonstrate it once and make sure she admits it obediently and follows you back. Said. Shen Jian took out a bloody mace. There were nails all over it, and there was still flesh and blood hanging on it. Immediately afterwards, the arc in Shen Jian's palm flashed, and the entire mace was charged. Then, lifted up. Little girl. She was slightly stunned and completely confused. You are really a bad person. What kind of bad luck did it take for me to fall into the hands of a ghost trafficker dressed as a priest? Your priest's robe was probably stolen. Looking at the mace electric shock stick that was already close at hand, the little girl panicked. If the beating continued, her skin would be torn to pieces, and her life or death would be uncertain. Immediately, her childish grimace suddenly became ferocious and twisted, a sky-high resentment began to emerge on her body, and strange black lines climbed up her neck. In an instant, originally weak little girl seemed to change into a completely cruel murderer in front of everyone. Next moment, the little girl turned around and ran away, trying to run back to the town. However, Shen Jian's mace electric shock stick has been knocked down. Along with the paralyzing pain, the little girl began to scream. Ah, stop fighting, I won't run away, I won't run away. Gilug. Watch this scene. The two big men and the double-eyed ghost on the field were dumbfounded. Damn it. Confirmed. This guy is really a ghost dealer. Moreover, he is rich in experience and skillful. Often, when he hits someone with a stick, he will not beat him to death, but he will use clever force to ensure that he is brought to the opponent without knocking him unconscious. Breathtaking. You can learn a lot just by watching. This is so professional. You are not a nobody in the ghost dealer industry, right? 2 minutes later, Shen Jian cast his eyes on the two big men and grinned. Are you going to show up on your own, or should I show up for you? Hear this. The two big men were stunned for a moment, and then their expressions began to become fierce. The overwhelming resentment filled his body. The cold and supernatural fluctuations belonging to the Ghost King spread out instantly. But it didn't work. Shen Jian picked up the mace electric shock stick and struck it hard. In just one round, the two big men fell to the ground screaming, curled up, and kept wailing, "Stop the electricity, stop the electricity, we don't want your money, we don't dare anymore." They had nowhere to vent their grievances, but under Shen Jian's education, they could only cry. Woo woo woo. Who is the evil ghost? Something strange is coming? Fortunately, I am the king of hell of the 10th palace. Author, Shi Yu Buletin Chigua. Chapter 561. Looking at this scene, the double-eyed ghost was completely confused. He looked at Shen Jian blankly. Trying to separate the priest who wore a priest's robe in the church and had full trust in him and had noble moral character with the man in front of him who was holding a mace electric shock stick and beating three powerless ghosts with a look of excitement on his face. Ghost traffickers are linked together. This contact is bullshit. Pastor, do you know that your image has collapsed? Are you not a priest? Why does you seem to be more professional when it comes to being a ghost trafficker and committing crimes against ghosts? Damn it! Could it be that he brought back a fake priest? Think of this. The double-eyed ghost was frightened for a while, and his face turned pale. Too brutal. He couldn't stand it anymore. Perhaps because his inner thoughts were responded to, Shen Jian stopped what he was doing. Looking at the three evil ghosts lying on the ground, a satisfied smile appeared on his face, and he turned to say, "Can't you see? The three of them are not like you who suppress the evil ghost personality at all, but are genuine evil ghosts. It's just that it was temporarily suppressed by the other side. Because the double-eyed ghost was suppressed by dragon energy, he could not detect many traces of being corroded by resentment, but these three evil ghosts were different. In Shen Jian's eyes, he could clearly sense the resentment in the other person's body, which was exactly the same resentment as the dark side of the monastery. Clear and distinct. Think of this. The smile on Shen Jian's face became even stronger. Because this shows that what the double-eyed ghost said is true. This Chell territory is indeed a group of aboriginal people with evil ghost personalities. His hell path is still nearly 30 evil ghosts short of unlocking it. If he relied on redemption to transform evil spirits, it would take him more than a month to get it together, and since it couldn't be done frequently, it might take 2 or 3 months. And here it is. Everywhere he catches it, it turns out to be an evil ghost. Look at it this way. The double-eyed ghost seems to be useless. Now he can completely draw out the dragon energy, induce the evil ghost personality in the opponent's body, and knock him down. This is another evil ghost's performance. Thoughts are spinning. Shen Jian's eyes became even weirder. At this time, the double-eyed ghost questioned, "Wait a minute, Pastor, this is wrong. If these three people are evil ghosts, how did they get out of the town? I have tried to drag the folks out before, but they didn't." He rushed back like crazy and couldn't hold him back. It's probably because they had no intention of leaving the town that they didn't trigger the instinct of the evil spirits in their bodies. After pondering for a few seconds, Shen Jian gave the answer. These three evil spirits appear to be habitual criminals at first sight. They take advantage of the little girl's own advantages and miserable life experience to defraud outlanders of their money. But no matter what, they come back to the town. The double-eyed ghost was different. He already knew about the anomalies in the town, told his friends about it, and had the idea of leaving the town. This triggered the evil ghost's instinct and made him unable to leave. Hear this. The double-eyed ghost could not refute. Then, he asked doubtfully, "Then Pastor, how do you know that they can show up during the day?" Shen Jian's eyes were strange. "I do not know." Ghost with double eyes? His eyes widened. "You do not know? You humming don't know? Then why did you take out a weapon like a mace stun bat and beat up a little girl? You are the devil." This moment, he had the idea of escaping from Shen Jian. "There is something wrong with this pastor." Snapped. A big hand rested on him. Shen Jian was holding a mace with blood dripping from it. At this time, he patted the double-eyed ghost on the shoulder and smiled kindly, "Do you know why I did what I did?" Looking at the smiling eyes of the pastor in front of him, his eyes trembled with trembling eyes, and he felt like crying without tears. He had an intuition that this man seemed to be beginning to feel that he was not that valuable anymore. If he answered incorrectly, he would probably be here right then and there. Just like three evil ghosts lying on the ground, covered in black smoke. I thought about it seriously for a long time. The double-eyed ghost hesitated and said, I probably understand that you, Pastor, are using fear and pain to relieve the resentment accumulated in the hearts of these three evil ghosts all the year round. They shouted out like this, shouted out, "The resentment in my heart is relieved." Finished. He did not forget to add a flattery, "The pastor really has a bodhisattva heart. He knows how to be considerate of others. This is really what we should learn from." Hear this. Shen Jian let go of his hand, and his eyes showed a strong look of appreciation. "You are not bad, you are really good at judging people, and you can be tortured or tortured. Let's go to the town. The words fell. Shen Jian packed up the three evil ghosts and strode away. The double-eyed ghost was about to collapse. He wiped the cold sweat from his forehead with a hint of fear in his eyes. I am afraid that if there is any flaw in my answer just now, I will become as unfortunate as others. Fortunately, his answer was quite satisfactory. He also found that he seemed to have found the right way to talk to the pastor. Wait, I won't be led astray. With this kind of worry about the future, the double-eyed ghost did not dare to be careless and followed. Enter the town. The environment inside is even worse. There was a turbid mist in the air, and a pungent and fishy smell hit his face. The sky was extremely gloomy. It was clearly broad daylight, but it seemed like night was about to fall. The streets were completely deserted. The lights of the houses on both sides were on, but the doors were closed and the windows were covered with curtains. From time to time, there are still faint prying eyes cast on me. It seemed particularly eerie. The double-eyed ghost shuddered and asked in surprise, "What's going on? I haven't been back for only half a year. Why is the situation the same as at night in broad daylight?" Seeing Shen Jian's confusion, he continued to explain, "Compared to the situation I left half a year ago, the environment here is worse and the visibility of the fog is lower. But according to normal conditions, it is broad daylight now. Xiao towns should look like ordinary city streets. Master Pastor, you also know that at night, the evil spirit personality in our bodies will take over our bodies, so every time dusk falls, the entire town will close its doors and windows, and no one will see outsiders or leave the house. But it's daytime now." The double-eyed ghost's tone was filled with deep confusion. In this situation, it is clear that the condition has worsened. Even broad daylight could not stop the appearance of evil spirits, so the doors and windows were closed during the day, and no outsiders were seen. Shen Jian was thoughtful. He roughly understands the current situation. The entire aboriginal people in the town are about to be taken over by evil spirits, and their bodies will be occupied for longer and longer periods of time, until finally, they completely turn into evil spirits. If you want to know the situation, just ask. Shen Jian walked towards the nearest house. At this time, the double-eyed ghost's expression changed. He lowered his voice and said, "Master Priest, we don't know how long this place has been closed now. According to my experience when I escaped, if the door is closed and the windows are closed for an hour, the evil spirit's personality has just emerged. 2 hours, half a picture, the body may have been occupied for 3 hours, and what you encounter when you open the door is the real evil ghost. 1 or 2 evil spirits may not mean much to the reverend, but if they affect the whole body and open a house, the eyes of every household may be attracted. By then, what we will face may be the evil spirits of the entire town." Ghost. Shen Jian was indifferent. "Keep getting closer. It's okay. I am kind and friendly, and sincerely want to help them. I believe they will not make it too difficult for me. I originally set my heart towards the bright moon." Ghost with double eyes. His facial muscles twitched slightly. "God is so kind and friendly, and the scammer trio whom you called to beg for mercy has something to say." Certainly. He only dared to think about this kind of complaint in his heart. At the same time, the double-eyed ghost listened thoughtfully. "I meant my heart to illuminate the moon, but the next sentence was, but the moon illuminates the ditch. High emotional intelligence, empathize with others. Low EQ, don't be so shameless and force me to slap you with a big mouth." He had some enlightenment. "I always feel like I learned something, but not much. And something is very wrong. After all, this is a gathering place for evil spirits. By acting so arrogantly, you are completely treating the ghosts here as nothing. Can we discuss giving some attention to the indigenous people in this territory?" However, Shen Jian ignored this. His mind has drifted to the word performance. Nothing matters except performance. He had just taken a few cursory glances and saw that the entire town covered a large area with hundreds of scattered buildings. But most are vacant. There was no light in the house either. There are roughly 56 houses with light. It is not a problem to gather the unlocking conditions of the Hell realm, and there are even redundant ones. He doesn't intend to let these go either. Because in addition to the Hell realm, the Hungry Ghost realm, and the Animal realm are also one of the 3 evil realms. Unlocking conditions may overlap. If you catch too much, it won't be wasted. He caught them all and blamed them all on the Earl who was in charge of the territory. He reaped the fame and the Earl was used as a scapegoat. It's a win-win. Shen Jian clicked his tongue. In the past, his situation was smaller, and he even thought about win-win for both parties. Now this is called a win-win. With this thought, Shen Jian raised his foot and was about to kick him, but suddenly thought that he was also a priest after all, so it would be too rude. The basic personality is still maintained. Think about it. Shen Jian put his foot down. Dong dong dong, knocking on the door. Fellow, open the door, I'm not a bad person. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Something strange is coming? Fortunately, I am the king of hell of the 10th palace. Author, Shi Buletin Chigua. Chapter 562. Crunch. The door opened. A dark man wearing a plush hood, with eyes sunk deeply into his sockets, opened the door, his penetrating eyes staring straight at Shen Jian. Want to come in? It's not very safe to stay outside at this time. As he spoke, the dark man turned sideways. Under the light, there was no shadow under the man's feet. And there was a strange arc in the corner of his mouth. Come in, my place is the safest place. If you stay outside after a while, there will be dirty things coming to arrest you. The double-eyed ghost lowered his voice and said in Shen Jian's ear, this is a scary ghost story here. I used to think it was just a statement to scare people, but now I think it may be talking about evil spirits catching people. But from the look of that man, it doesn't seem like he has been replaced by an evil spirit. It should be that the time has not come yet. We can go in and understand the situation. Are you from here too? At this time, the dark man turned his gaze to the double-eyed ghost, with a hint of confusion in his tone. Apparently, he had already heard what the double-eyed ghost said. Then, the dark man's expression became even more passionate. As expected, we are all fellow villagers. Come in quickly so I can entertain you. Under the strange red light, he showed a scary smile. Then prepare to turn around and entertain the guests. Next moment, Shen Jian stretched out his hand and put it on the shadowy man's shoulder. Don't be anxious, fellow countryman meets fellow countryman. Did he trick you? I mean, my eyes are filled with tears. Now that I'm back in my hometown, I want to inquire about something from fellow countrymen. Shadowless ghost. He resisted silently for a few times. Realizing that he couldn't break free, his gloomy expression softened a lot. He forced a smile and said, we are all fellow villagers. If you have anything to ask, I will tell you everything I know. It's like this. Before I left that year, I went to my neighbor's house for dinner. The neighbor was a family of 3. They were very welcoming to me and insisted that I stay at their house for the night. But, I was caught up with the wrong thing. Shen Jian looked heartbroken. At 12 o'clock in the middle of the night, I was about to take off my clothes and go to sleep, but my sister-in-law walked in wearing cool clothes. She cried to me, saying that her husband was useless, that he was old and weak, and that he couldn't do it at all. She wanted me, who was young and strong, to help her solve her troubles at night. Ghost with double eyes? Shadowless ghost? He was slightly startled. Damn it! Is this something I can listen to? You won't have to pay later. Why haven't I met such a neighbor? If you're handsome, you can do whatever you want, right? Grass. Think of this. The shadowless ghost's eyes became even more resentful. So, you are knocking on my door now and not letting me leave, just to make me listen to your sexual pleasure? It's too special. How can there be someone like you in this world? Where is the morality, where is the self-cultivation, where is the quality, and where is the address? What would you do if it were you? Shen Jian asked. If it were me, I would take the rubber band out of her pants and flick it on your face. Veins popped out on the shadowless ghost's forehead. I no longer want to hear it. But the big hand on his shoulder was like a mountain of steel, suppressing him here, unable to move at all. He could only suppress the anger in his heart, gritted his teeth and said, "What next?" "Never mind." He gave up. Anyway, he is not at a loss. Then, I looked at my sister-in-law's beautiful face, and I followed her in a daze. When I went in and took a look, my eldest brother was actually there. My eldest brother said that even though he can't do it, he should watch from the sidelines, so that he can feel more involved and learn. Shadowless ghost? His mouth was wide enough to fit a fist into it. Pupils were shocked. Obviously such a thing was beyond his imagination. On the spot. Playing so perverted? This is too expensive. Shadowless ghost seemed to have been open to a new world. His mouth felt dry and his eyes were full of curiosity, as if to say, "What next? Go on, don't make things exciting." I admit, I was a prude at first. See this? Shen Jian continued, I was hesitant for a moment and couldn't make up my mind, but my eldest brother repeatedly promised not to disturb my sister-in-law and in desperation, I agreed. So, I had no choice but to go with my sister-in-law in front of my eldest brother, guiding her son on his homework. Sister-in-law is right. My eldest brother is really not good at it. He doesn't even know the basic multiplication table. He can only let me guide him. Shadowless ghost. After listening, he was completely stunned, looking at Shen Jian blankly. Damn it. I bet this is what you call solving the night problem. Then you hesitate to die. I have already taken off my pants, are you telling me this? You are too humming useless. I thought. Looking at Shen Jian, he choked completely. Huh? Fellow, there's something wrong with your eyes. Did you think of it as something inappropriate for children before? Shen Jian raised his eyebrows. You ride a horse. The bad guy files the complaint first, right? If you hadn't said that, what would I have thought? The shadowless ghost's expression was very ugly. It seems that I can't control my emotions. So, what do you want to find out from me? He squeezed out these words through his teeth, and his deeply sunken eyes looked extremely bloodshot, like a ferocious murderer who could no longer suppress the bloodthirst in his heart. It's like this. I tutored my sister-in-law's children and I forgot to ask them for tuition fees. Can you tell me where their home is? Hear this. The shadowless ghost's expression immediately darkened, and his entire ghostly face began to distort. He saw it. This fellow is humming, entertaining him. Gan. He couldn't bear it anymore. Moment. The shadowless ghost's body rose with monstrous yin qi, and a steady stream of resentment began to breed, occupying this body, and terrifying supernatural fluctuations belonging to the abyss-level ghost king swept over it. Then, he showed Shen Jian a cold smile that chose others to devour. Fellow, you're very brave to dare to break in after you've gone out. Now that you've come in, don't even think about going out again. Stay here and become one of us. Shadowless Ghost laughed sadly. With great confidence, he raised a hand and grabbed Shen Jian's wrist on his shoulder. Just dial it casually. He didn't even bother to make a sneak attack in this situation. After preparing to push away Shen Jian's hand and let Shen Jian prepare, he would then brutally kill this fellow villager and make him a part of him. Then, well, he couldn't push it away. Shadowless ghost? He didn't believe it and tried again. Still couldn't get it out of the way. Shen Jian's hand seemed to be welded to his shoulder and he couldn't move it away at all. Shadowless ghost was anxious. He grabbed Shen Jian's wrist on his shoulder and used force with his palms in an attempt to move Shen Jian's hand away. Pity. Useless. His strength is simply not enough. This moment, Shadowless ghost panicked. He pinched Shen Jian's wrist and used direct force, preparing to break Shen Jian's hand by force. Still no use. This hand is simply heavier and harder than titanium alloy, and cannot be moved by human power at all. Damn it! What's the point of riding a horse? This fellow grew up on whatever he ate, even if he was strong, he was so damn tough. No wonder the neighbor's sister-in-law in the story asked each other for help. If this were his girlfriend, she would be extremely happy. But I was miserable. The shadowless ghost is miserable. Both ghost hands were used, but still couldn't solve it. What? Aren't you going to kill me? Keep going. Shen Jian grinned. His eyes gradually became dangerous. At the same time, he exerted force with his palms, and the shadowless ghost's shoulders immediately split open. Under the tremendous force, he fell to his knees directly, holding Shen Jian's wrist with both hands, with a look of pain on his face. Please let me go, fellow man, I'm in tears. The shadowless ghost screamed. Surrender directly. Dogs send things to them, they have to work hard to grow up. So much energy. I was almost shot to death. Shen Jian was indifferent, but asked, looking at you, you should have taken over this body long ago, and you can tell me everything you know. I said, I actually don't know much, because I only occupied the main body 3 days ago, and I only have a partial understanding of the situation here. If you want to know more, you can go to the Earl's castle at the end of the town. He did everything, and we just followed his orders. With a devilish personality, you are willing to obey the other party's orders. TMD, I don't want to, but he threatened me with disappearing, saying that we are just a group of semi-finished products, and we need to go to his place regularly to inhale higher-level supernatural mist to stabilize my consciousness, otherwise I won't be immersed in it for a long time. In the mist, the evil spirit's personality will weaken and eventually disappear completely. Hear this. Shen Jian was thoughtful. Mist is the key to maintaining the evil ghost's personality. No wonder the double-eyed ghost couldn't take other people away at that time. That's the case. And, judging from the meaning of the shadowless ghosts, the fog in the town can barely maintain their existence, and sometimes it can even be unsuppressed, causing the body to be taken over by the normal personality during the day. If you want to really let the evil ghost personality take over your body, you need to go to the count and get a more advanced supernatural power. The so-called night operation of yours is to do things for that count. Yes, this is the price. As long as we want to live, we have to listen to that stupid Earl Cha. Also, I heard an old man say that the experimental site here was probably opened by the big shots of Elim Temple. Apart from obeying orders, we have nothing to do. Anyway. The shadowless ghost bared his teeth and said in a somewhat difficult tone. He is a majestic abyss-level ghost king, but he can't resist the opponent's hand. This world is so unfair. At this time, the ghost with heavy eyes ran over in a panic. Pastor, what's wrong? What I just said has come true. All those evil ghosts have really come out and are approaching us. Hear this. The shadowless ghost was shocked and gasped. Fellow, let me go. I can help you get out of this crisis. Otherwise, if you are surrounded, you will definitely be dead. Haha, Just pack it up and take it away at once. A strange smile appeared on Shen Jian's face, and his expression was somewhat excited. But you're right, I did surround them. Something strange is coming? Fortunately, I am the king of hell of the 10th palace. Author, Shi Yu Buletin Chi Gua. Chapter 563. Chapter 560 I am a sliding shovel. At this time, a large number of evil ghosts gathered in the outside world, densely packed. All of them had hideous expressions on their faces, showing off the evil spirits at their most ferocious. The secrets of Chel's territory must not be exposed. Otherwise, according to the way Elim Temple handles it, their evil ghost personalities will disappear, which is intolerable to everyone. Therefore, outsiders who enter Chel's territory will only die. Other than that, there is no second possibility. Soon, the streets were already lined with evil spirits. They all showed a sad smile. Come out quickly, stop hiding. Do you dare to come out and touch me, little dog? He, a guy like you can easily be taken care of by me with a sliding shovel. The ghosts made joking noises. Don't continue to approach. Instead, they surrounded both sides of the street, and even several evil ghosts climbed on the roofs, staring directly at the house of the shadowless ghost. Just like a hunter playing with his prey. They want their prey to be eaten bit by bit under the most extreme fear. The other side. Shen Jian walked out of the room. There was excitement on his face. Watch this scene. Wu Yingui was confused. No. Are foreigners today so courageous? There are not just one or two cats and dogs outside, but evil spirits from the entire town are here. Judging from the intensity of their resentment, there were at least 30 of them. To know. Evil ghosts like him who only completely took over the body 3 days ago possess terrifying abyss-level strength, let alone those old people who took over the body earlier than him. Abyss level is standard, and top ghost kings are not uncommon. At least there are more than 5. With such a lineup, even if a ghost comes, you have to choose to avoid the edge temporarily. But what about Shen Jian? He actually walked out like that. Damn it! I don't know if you have any strength, but your confidence is truly unmatched by anyone. Impressed. The shadowless ghost stared blankly at the double-eyed ghost beside him, and murmured, "Has he always been so brave?" The double-eyed ghost was also in a state of being frightened. Almost crying. He is just a red shirt level ghost, how can he use such a lineup? Isn't this a serious overestimation of me? Now. He only hoped that the priest could tear out an encirclement and allow them to evacuate safely. No matter how bad it is, it's okay to be disabled. He would be satisfied as long as he could survive. He doesn't pick. More than that, he is very brave. The double-eyed ghost wants to cry but has no tears. At the same time, Shen Jian has already arrived outside. Looking at the dense crowd of evil ghosts, he had a full smile on his face. A light suddenly bloomed in his eyes. 33 evil spirits. Calculating the number of evil ghosts he had collected during this period, he found that there were 26 evil ghosts in total. Adding the 33 in front of him, he had all the 50 evil ghosts needed for the Hell Realm. There are even excess. Think about it this way. How could Shen Jian not be excited? Giggle, you are a thin dog, you really dare to come out. You don't have any yin energy, you don't have enough resentment, and you are not strong in supernatural powers. Even if you say you are a thin dog, you are flattered. An evil spirit mocked without caring about his sarcastic attitude. He looked at Shen Jian with a cold expression, as if he was looking at a dead person. Boom! A golden thunder shot out. The evil spirit that spoke exploded. The body fell to the ground, covered in black smoke. This moment, the ghosts were shocked. Eyes widened. A look of disbelief. Damn it! What just happened? Why did this happen? Just hold on for a while and let us know how it works. So damn ignorant. See this. Shen Jian moved his 5 fingers again, and golden thunder wrapped around his wrist like a golden python, crackling, and golden lightning scattered around it. Damn it! Where did you get the special effects on credit? This is no longer the same style as ours. You are also a ghost, how can you be so cool? In shock and doubt. Shen Jian showed a charming smile. Come on, didn't you scream happily just now? Why don't you continue screaming? Evil ghosts. Hearing Shen Jian's provocative words, they all fell into silence. I had a bad mouth before, but that was because everyone was here, and I didn't think Shen Jian, a foreigner, could make any waves. Only then did he vent his bad mouth a few words. But now. The other party gently waved his hand, and an abyss-level ghost king who was infinitely close to the unsolvable level ghost was killed. Except for the top ghost king, no one among them dared to say that they could withstand such a supernatural attack. If you have a bad mouth, you will be made a role model. Although they are evil ghosts, they are also afraid of death, otherwise they would not be restricted by humans here. However, Shen Jian would not think so much. All he knew was that the evil spirits present belonged to him. Then, Shen Jian looked around with a dangerous look in his eyes. Where's the guy who just wanted to kill me with a sliding shovel? I'm here now. If you have the guts, why don't you give it a try? The words just fell. The whole place fell silent immediately. Evil ghosts, you look at me, I look at you. Next moment, the collective took a half step back. It highlighted the only slider who didn't retreat. You're the one who said you were going to kill me with a shovel. Shen Jian stared quietly at this evil spirit who was shouting very fiercely. Shovel ghost. He looked left and right. Chest rises and falls violently. Grass. You little bastards, when the situation turns bad, just retreat behind me, right? It's 2 Dogecoin. The shovel ghost was frightened and angry, glaring at these pitiful things. Then he showed a ferocious face to Shen Jian that he thought was friendly. Okay, let's slide and shovel. Shen Jian watched quietly, with no trace of malice on his face. Shovel ghost. He broke into a cold sweat. Just when he was about to beg for mercy, Shen Jian opened his fingers and golden thunder shot out again. He blasted away a watching evil ghost next to the shovel ghost. Ghosts. Crooked son. If you don't attack the person involved, why are you attacking those of us who are just watching? This is a bit disrespectful of martial ethics. GGG, if he doesn't make a tackle within 5 seconds, I will randomly select a lucky spectator to perform the art of explosion. Shen Jian flexed his 5 fingers. A crackling sound suddenly sounded. Brilliant golden thunder illuminated half the street. At this time, all the evil spirits panicked. One after another began to persuade the slippery ghosts. It's just a shovel, there's no shame in it. See this. The shovel ghost trembled all over. In the inner dispute, another evil ghost exploded on the spot. He didn't dare to hesitate any longer. With an extremely shameful attitude, he ran forward for a while, and then a sliding shovel. He slid to Shen Jian. Unfortunately, eggs are useless. Perhaps feeling that he had been insulted, Shovel Ghost couldn't help but shed a tear of humiliation from the corner of his eyes, and his voice became sad and shrill. What a bully! I, the majestic abyss-level Ghost King, have suffered such humiliation. Shen Jian. He blinked. The corners of his mouth twitched slightly. Not buddy. After all, he is an evil ghost, can he have some moral integrity? If you do this, people will think that I am bullying you. Subsequently, Shen Jian stuffed the collapsed shovel ghost into the sack. His eyes fell on other evil spirits. In an instant, The ghosts all separated their relations. "My lord, I have never scolded you. Sir, you know that I, a trumpeter, may be even dirtier than this if I curse. Sir, you know me. I'm a glove guy. I never like to curse. I'll just make the other person speechless on the spot. Sir, you know that I am mute at first glance. I speak with supernatural powers. Everyone can prove it to me. Ghosts, you speak to me." While defending himself, his steps continued to retreat. To this, Shen Jian ignored it. "What, are you very proud?" said. Shen Jian's 5 fingers were wrapped with arcs at the same time. A flick of the palm. The 5 golden thunder snakes blew up the 5 nearest evil ghosts to death. Instant time. It was a chaotic mess. "Ma Dan, he has no intention of letting us go. He doesn't care whether Lu Ziyi eats rice noodles or not, he just wants to cut open Lu Ziyi's belly." At this time, you are using the past to make fun of the present. What do you mean? It means that he doesn't care at all whether we have scolded him or not, he just wants us to die. Gan. At this time, the evil spirits in the entire town have been awakened. The remaining people who did not participate in the siege of Shenjian could only hide in their homes and tremble. They turned off the lights, closed the doors and windows tightly, and observed the situation outside through a small gap. Panic flashed in everyone's eyes. If outsiders come to their territory, they all know about it. But not everyone is interested in joining in the fun. Furthermore, more than 30 evil spirits had already gone, and they would not find much fun in following them. However, none of the indigenous people in the territory expected that this outsider would be so secretive. One man surrounded more than 30 evil spirits who were attacking and made them disperse and flee. His grandmas. Even if a ghost comes, it won't have any effect. Who is that outsider? Could it be that what happened here has been revealed, and the Elim temple sent the best among ghosts and gods to purify this place? It shouldn't be killed directly. Although they occupied the original body of the indigenous people here, as long as time passed, the consciousness of the original body could still wake up. They killed them without saying a word. Did they not intend to save people? At this time, an evil ghost with a psychic link to consciousness connected with the survivors. He began to ask in his mind, the movement outside has stopped. Is the outsider gone? Soon. Many frightened voices sounded. I don't know, we are a bit far away. I only know that the foreigner is wrapped in golden thunder and lightning, and there seems to be something red floating on his wrist, but I didn't dare to look more. Damn it, according to this trend, basically all the people of the same kind outside will die. Even if there are some who escape, they may not be able to hold on for long. Although we are all evil spirits, the situation in the territory is now in danger. We must save ourselves. We cannot let that devil continue to kill. He is too murderous. I am afraid he will not stop until he kills everyone. Save someone who is alone when you see one. This is not saving others, but saving ourselves. The surviving evil spirits exchanged their thoughts in the consciousness space. The central theme is 1, save others, and then unite to save ourselves. Link broken. The conscious ghost was hiding in his house, breathing heavily with lingering fear. It is unimaginable for a group of evil ghosts to spontaneously unite, carry out rescue, and unite to fight against the enemy. One can imagine. How much evil did that foreigner cause here to make them abandon their evil nature and choose to unite? At this time, the conscious ghost opened the curtains. His eyes were stunned. I saw a figure walking on the street, looking around, seemingly looking for help. Under the double cover of darkness and fog, he couldn't see clearly what the other party looked like, but the one who was still wandering around outside at this time was most likely a survivor. The consciousness ghost looked serious. Suddenly I remembered the mutual help they discussed. We must first save others, and then unite to save ourselves. Then, the conscious ghost secretly opened the curtains. Passed the supernatural power into Shen Jian's mind. Here, come here, why are you standing there waiting for the devil to notice? The consciousness ghost shouted. The next second, the figure looked towards him. In the darkness, he seemed to see the figure showing him a charming smile.